Welcome to your weekly yoga practice to help you reset your nervous system. I received a comment from last week's video, and I wanted to address that at the beginning of this video so that we can use that in our class today. So if you're here just for the yoga, you can use the chapters to skip ahead to where the yoga class begins. So the question was about panic attacks and what to do when we feel a panic attack coming on, particularly if we're in public, like at a grocery store. And I resonate with this one deeply because the grocery store can often trigger my anxiety. The fluorescent lighting, the people with the indecisions and the carts, the full shelves, uh, the standing in line while somebody is edging up closer and closer to you as if they stand on your heels, the checker will move faster. These types of things can really start to trigger my system that I need to move faster, somehow be better at grocery storing. And in that, my anxiety can really start to come on. Typically, if we're having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, there are signs leading up that we might be susceptible to a panic attack. But if we haven't had the resources to be familiar with that, we may only notice it right when it's coming on. And in that case, I have a few tools that I use to help soothe and calm my system until I can do a little deeper work, like a full yoga practice or a meditation or calling my therapist. Three things that I do when I feel a panic attack coming on is one, be compassionate with myself. I wasn't always this way. In fact, I often would have negative self talk like, why is this happening now? What did you do to make this happen? This can't be happening. I would have the tone of shaming myself, like making myself bad for having the panic attack come on board. So the first thing is to halt the negative self talk and trade it for compassionate talk. And the way I do this is I picture my younger self, maybe 8 or 10 or 12, maybe 4 or 6, whatever comes to my mind. And I imagine myself at 4 years old having this panic attack. And it changes the tune of the way I talk to myself. It softens it a bit, imagining that we're talking to a child having a problem, maybe a little different than how we might talk to an adult. So the next time you feel a panic attack come on, instead of trying to reprimand the anxiety attack or the panic attack, see if you can soften a little bit. Your panic attack has a lot of information for you. It may be a key that unlocks a door to your healing. And so we want to be compassionate. We want to be friendly with our panic attacks, even though it almost feels impossible sometimes. So try to remember it's not your fault that you're having the panic attack, that this is not good, it's not bad, it just is, and we're going to work through it because we have tools. So the tools 2 and 3 are options. Okay. One is to tune into your breath and count the breath. That's one way that you can engage your mind, the thinking brain, and your body together to help kind of soothe or pacify the anxiety or panic. That can be a little too intimate sometimes, a little too provocative, particularly in the situation where you're in public, like at the grocery store. Tuning into your breath might not be as easily accessible. Like when you're first beginning this, you may need a quiet room to stay with your breath. The better you get at it, the more accessible it is. So keep coming back to your yoga practice. The third option is to feel your feet on the ground. So imagine you're standing in the grocery store line and maybe your breath is in your chest and it's short and it's rapid. The skin starts to get a little hot. The brain gets a little fuzzy. We're not feeling well. Something's off here. This would be a sign that your thinking mind is spiraling and we want to drop it down to the ground. We want to ground the thinking mind. So when I do this, I allow my awareness to soak up as much of my feet as I can. the feeling of my feet on the ground, the sense of gravity holding me. If I have sandals on, I might sense into the air on the top of my feet. It's very subtle. Or thinking about roots growing down from the bottom of my feet, grounding me down. So what we're doing when we're dropping the thinking mind into our feet is we are grounding ourselves, which is going to help us with the anxiety and the panic. We are going to need more. This is going to get us through the grocery store, but we're going to need to tune in and to peel back some layers of what's happening behind those anxiety attacks, the panic attacks. Usually it's something deeper, and our anxiety and our panic are invitations to do the deep work that a therapist or a yoga therapist could help guide you through. What's great about yoga therapy versus just talk therapy, I know a lot of talk therapists are getting into somatic work now, but a yoga therapist is working with the body and the mind. We don't see them as separate. They're interconnected and interrelated. And so it's a holistic viewpoint of your entire self when you're coming to yoga therapy. If you'd like to learn more, you can check out my website at homeyogatherapy.com. All right, let's get into our yoga class today. We'll start with a breath practice to bring our awareness into the present moment and unlock some of the channels in our body. And then we'll move into the gentle movement where I'll be giving cues to tune into your breath or the feeling of your feet on the ground, just to practice and try it on. Typically, when we try something in our yoga practice, it comes a little easier when we're off the mat. So find a comfortable seat. I'm sitting on my blanket. It helps to lift my hips higher than my knees. And I have 2 blocks handy for today's practice. Allow your hands to rest in your lap in a comfortable way. And if you'd like, close your eyes. Tune into your natural breath. Our breath practice will be a little different than most weeks. Just notice what's present for you here. Perhaps noticing any sensations that are present or thoughts, emotions. Begin to deepen your breath as you feel ready. Fully exhaling as you draw your belly button towards your spine. We'll count the breath. We'll count to 4. We'll take a 1-second pause and we'll exhale for 4 with a 1-second pause. This is going to prepare us for this breath activity that we're going to do today. So when you're ready, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, exhale, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. This time, we're going to hold the breath at the top. 3, 4, pause and hold. If you become anxious or breathless, please begin to exhale. So notice if this is a familiar feeling for you to hold your breath in. Notice any sensations that arise as you're retaining your breath. Any fears that come up, jolts in your body. And please begin to exhale if you haven't already. Exhale completely. We'll begin with the inhale breath. Again, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. When we begin the exhale, we're going to hold the breath out at the end. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Please hold the breath. And notice here, if this is a familiar pattern for your body, notice what sensations come up, any feeling tones or intuitive thoughts about this. Please don't let yourself become breathless. So as soon as you feel like you need to breathe in, please do so gently if possible. And we're going to complete this by smoothing it out. When you're ready, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Please continue at your own pace, counting your own breath for 3 cycles. And blink your eyes open when you're ready. I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments. It was just a short sampling to demonstrate the ways in which we may be holding our breath without knowing it. We may be holding our breath in when we're feeling anxious or stressed, or we may hold it out. And this is affecting our nervous system. And it's telling our nervous system that it's not safe enough to breathe. And it may be something that's contributing to your anxiety or your panic. So maybe investigate this week, see how that's feeling for you, see if you notice when you're holding your breath out or if you're holding it in or if one or more is more common for you. And we'll talk more about that in future classes. Okay, let's come into child's pose. Knees together or knees apart, your choice. Walk your hands forward. If your knees are together, you might actually like to have your hands by your side towards the back of your mat. Your hands reaching forward, sit back into your hips. Take a couple deep breaths. Notice the top of your feet making contact with your mat. Perhaps notice the texture or temperature of your feet. Maybe wiggle your toes if possible. Just tune into how that feels for a moment. Begin to walk your hands over to the right side for a left side body stretch. Breathe in for 4, exhale for 4. With each exhale, see if your body can get a little heavier. And we'll stay here for 2 more rounds. With an inhale, begin to walk your hands over to the left side. This time, tune into the feeling of your feet making contact with your mat. What does the texture of your mat feel like on the top of your feet? And what's the temperature of your feet? Try not to make it good or bad or right or wrong, but just to notice. Walk your hands back to center and then walk them back to come into tabletop or cat-cow. Spread your fingers wide and point them slightly outward. Stack your knees under your hips With an inhale, arch your lower back, lift your chest and chin forward. Press down into the floor. Draw your hands back towards your knees as you stretch your chest and chin forward. Exhale, push the floor away, arch your back. We'll do this to the count of 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Reach the end of your pose. Then exhale, 2, 3, 4. 2 more times at your own breath pace, counting while breathing. What if your next breath was the most important breath of your entire life? How would you treat it? Come back to neutral. Step your right hand forward about 6 or 8 inches. And as you exhale, push back to child's pose. Breathe into your right side body. Exhale for 4. Inhale for 4. Use your next inhale to come back up to table. Step left hand forward. Use your exhale to sit your hips back towards your heel and begin your breathing cycle. Of course, if your breath cycle is more like 5, 6, or 7, or even 3, please honor that. 4 is today's suggestion as a generalized count. Come back up to table and step your left hand back. Tuck your toes under. Push yourself back to down dog. Spread your fingers wide. Bend your knees. Then draw your chest down towards your mat. Release your neck here. Maybe shake your head no or nod your head yes. And for a moment here, notice where your breath is at in your body, the geography of your breath. You could begin to straighten your knees if you'd like, and draw your heels down towards the ground. They need not reach the ground. We're going to inhale, rock forward to plank. Nice strong plank pose. You can always come down to your knees. In your plank pose, begin drawing your feet and your hands together. Feel your body light up with strength here. Exhale back to down dog. Bend your knees, draw your chest down. We're going to count 4 counts in, moving into our plank. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold your plank, draw your hands together. I said hold your plank, not your breath. Make sure you're breathing. Draw your hands and your knees together if your knees are on the ground. Then use your exhale to come back to down dog. Bend your knees. We're going to do this one more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, plank, hold. Exhale, down dog. Look forward and begin to tippy toe all the way to your hands. Step your feet as wide as your hips. And let's place one hand on each elbow in our forward fold. Bend your knees. Let your neck be loose. Shake your head no. Nod your head yes. Spin your inner thighs towards the wall behind you. And notice your feet on the ground. Here we're directly looking at them. So go ahead and just stare at your feet for a moment. See the parts of your feet that make contact with the ground. Maybe notice parts of your feet that don't make contact. going to begin to walk up to standing. So use your hands on your legs and do this slowly, please. Tuck your chin towards your chest. This will help prevent any dizziness, or it'll pacify or soothe any dizziness that's present. When you're ready, lift your chin. Inhale, reach both arms up, look up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Press down into your left foot as you bend to the right. So keep pressing down into your left foot as if it's grounding down, and begin to notice what your left foot feels like on the ground. Just your left. You could look down towards your mat. Breathe naturally here. No need to count your breath. Let your awareness soak up more of your left foot on the ground. Inhale, rise back up. Switch the cross of your hand. And we're going to switch sides. Side bending to the left, press down into your right foot. Look down towards the ground. Feel all your toe pads on the floor. If you're in shoes, you could sense what they feel like in your shoes. Inhale, come back up. Release your arms down. Let's take some shoulder shrugs. Shoulders up to ears, and back down. Go the opposite direction. Sensing your feet on the ground while you do this. So like to notice your feet while you're doing something else in your body. Are you able to stay with your groundedness? Okay, we're going to come back down to our mat today. Come onto your back. With your knees bent, allow your feet to be on the ground. Notice your shoulders on the ground, perhaps your arms and hands. Let your body get heavier. As you breathe in, count to 4. Let your belly expand up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, watch your belly descend down towards the ground. We'll do this for several cycles. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Keep going at your own pace. And if this was your last breath cycles, could you be a little more aware or a little more curious about how your breath moves through your body? Notice how when you count the breath, your mind stays engaged with your breath. The moment you stop counting or lose count, something might take its place or distract you. If thoughts have taken you away, let's come back to the breath cycle for 2 more full cycles. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. I'm curious if you also noticed your feet on the ground. If not, we're going to give them a little more attention here. Begin pressing down into the bottom of your feet. And as you press down, lift your hips up towards the ceiling, or bridge pose. Press down into your forearms and your feet, your shoulders. Lift your pelvis up. Exhale, return slowly. Pick up your feet and draw your knees in towards your chest for a moment. We'll be doing bridge pose again. You want to take the sensory sensations off our feet for a moment, or when we do it a second time. Okay, when you're ready, place your feet back down, starting from your heels, slowly roll to your toes. Begin pressing down, down, down as you lift your pelvis towards the ceiling. If you'd like, you could shimmy your shoulders and interlock your fingers underneath the small of your back, pressing down into your forearms and your hands. Notice when you press down into your forearms if that takes some of the attention away from your feet, and begin to press down into your feet fully again. Draw your knees down towards your toes. It's going to help create length. One more breath cycle here. Full breath in. Use your exhale to begin to lower slowly. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Perhaps interlock your fingers around your shins or your hamstrings and rock side to side. Find a still position. Breathe in to your lower belly for 4. Exhale for 4. Is your mind more tuned in, more willing to do this now? Or do you notice your mind still gets easily distracted? Again, one's not good or bad, we're just noticing. Spread your arms out to a T and use your exhale to lower both knees over to the right. Look to the left. Just let your body breathe you here. You can release control of your breathing and your counting. Perhaps sense the weight of your entire body on the earth. Wait for an inhale, then come back up to center. And use an exhale to lower both knees to the left. Look to the right. Letting your body breathe you. Just notice how your body feels on the earth. Please use your next inhale to come back to center. Wrap your hands around your legs and draw your forehead up and squeeze. Give yourself a hug for your practice. Offer yourself some compassion for what you're moving through here, whether that's on the mat or in life. And exhale, pour out into Savasana. You could pull the flesh of your buttocks to the side to help create a wider base. For today's practice, I'm going to recommend palms face down on the earth, like our feet on the ground. Palms face down helps us to ground our mind and our body. Options today in your Shavasana. When your mind wanders away, guide it back to your natural breath, your body breathing you, or perhaps sensing the back of your heels on the ground. You might sense their weight, Again, texture can be interesting, or temperature, or just being curious about your entire system as you pay attention to your heels or your breath. See if you can smooth out the muscles of your face, relaxing the corners of your eyes. See if you can let your whole body, including your heels, get a little heavier into the earth. We're just imagining it so. Or just imagining it so. There's no need to evaluate the practice or yourself here. Shavasana is a time of integration, allowing the body and the mind without our help, without our thinking mind. Notice yourself making these efforts for stillness or peace or whatever brought you here today. In our final moments of Shavasana, let your body get a little more relaxed. Release any holding in your pelvis, in your ankles, or your shoulders. Begin to deepen your breath as you feel ready. Of course, if you have more time, you're invited to stay as long as you can. Gently wiggle fingers and toes. Roll wrists and ankles. Bring some larger movements in, like a full body stretch. To bend my knees and stretch. And then roll to one side and pause here for a moment. Push yourself up to your seat when you're ready. Let's sit together for a moment of mindfulness. Rest your hands in your lap. Tune into your breath. Sense how your body is feeling as your breath moves through it. And notice the way in which you tend, the way in which you are aware of your body and your breath. If you'd like, you could bring your hands to heart center and gently bow towards your heart with some compassion for all your body and mind has been through and the ways in which it lets you know it needs support. I hope this class has been helpful in learning ways to pacify or to soothe your anxiety and panic attacks. If you have any questions, you could drop them below in the comments and I can answer them either in the comment section or possibly in the next video. I so appreciate your time and your energy here. Thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this video, please give it a like or share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe, as this is a weekly class to help us reset and regulate our nervous system so we can feel more resilient and at ease as we move through life. Thank you.